Whatever it is that you're thinking of starting, the questions will soon start rolling in. What will people think? Am I good enough? How do I measure up? Will I fit in? All these questions surface, and before you even started, you've talked yourself out of it. And here lies the problem: self-doubt. You question yourself, do I have what it takes? Am I good enough? Will anyone listen to me? I'll share a little bit about my creative process. My creative process usually starts with music. I will think of an artist or a song that I've recently listened to, or even just have my stuff on shuffle. And once something catches my attention, then I take a step back and think, at some point, the artist that made the song that I am now listening to, they were also afraid to release that song or even get into music. But because they done the hard thing and overcame the fear and created the song that I'm now listening to, that gives me ideas and inspires me to get creative and also try something new. But that fear only gets put into perspective when you're getting started. Fear and self-doubt is part of the battle. To the person who wants to take action but is struggling with motivation and procrastination, here's a few things that may be of help to you. Start small. Often the hardest thing to do is just to get started. Pick a small, manageable task that is related to what it is that you want to do. Be realistic with it. By taking this approach, once you're able to tick that task off your list, you not only create a sense of accomplishment, but it can help build momentum. Personally, I'm not a fan of setting goals, as I found that once I've reached that goal, then there's no more motivation. Instead, create a system for your continuous personal development, factoring in what it is that you want to accomplish. The difference that I find between goals and systems is that goals tends to focus on outcomes with an emphasis on endpoints, whereas systems has a focus on the process. Set deadlines. You want to set deadlines to create a sense of urgency and accountability. It's so easy to push stuff back, but the only person that you're cheating by not taking advantage of the opportunities that are in front of you, well, it's future you. Eliminate distractions. You know what your distractions are. Mine used to be Xbox. You see how it's still in reach though? Anytime I wanted to avoid doing something, you would hear the ping of the Xbox. I'm looking down there just because that's where the Xbox is at the moment, and it's collecting dust. Hours later, I would still be gaming. Of course, an extreme would have been to disconnect everything and remove the Xbox, but instead I just chose to cancel my Game Pass. I only really played PvP, so the offline gaming against the computer doesn't really appeal to me, unless it's an RPG. But I'm just sharing this approach as that's something that has worked for me. If it's your phone, if possible, sorry, you see this face here? It gets me every single time. I digress. But if it is your phone, if possible, turn off your notifications. You can put it into sleep mode or do not disturb, but the main thing here is to identify and reduce the amount of time that you spend on this when it's go time. So I've spoken about the Pomodoro technique and time blocking in a previous video. But just as a quick recap, Pomodoro technique is about time intervals, and the time blocking is about allocating specific times of the day to focus on your tasks. Above all, and to circle back to the first point, start small. So the next time you're avoiding some huge thing you've got to do, don't just sit there waiting for inspiration to do it. Just start by doing something, even a small thing. The action itself will spark the motivation and make it easier to keep going. This is otherwise known as the do something principle, coined by Mark Manson, which you may have already picked up on being the inspiration for this video. Until next time.